Everybody, Madison here with Health by Ratio. My team and I, consisting of licensed physical therapists, corrective exercise specialists, strength and conditioning coaches, and functional health coaches, work holistically together to create customized fitness and health programs to take a holistic approach with our clients to get them out of recurring and chronic pains and injuries and move them toward their functional health and fitness goals, whatever that might be. And one of the most common things that we're working with our clients on is neck tension and neck pain. Some is just like chronic neck tension, maybe that's creating like stress headaches and that kind of stuff. Some of it's as serious as cervical fusions, bulges in the neck, and all kinds of stuff. So we work kind of the full gambit, but neck tension, neck problems, pinched nerves around the neck are really common. And this topic got brought up just because just within the last few days, did a reassessment with one of our clients. Just the most recent, but we've had literally dozens upon dozens of these this year. With one of our clients, Angie, who is an avid runner and likes to be really active, but was consistently dealing with chronic neck pain and neck tension. It was really debilitating. I think any of us that have either just woken up on the wrong side of the bed in the morning with a kink in the neck to having chronic neck tension, we know how debilitating it is. It can impact every single thing that we do throughout the day. So that was one of the very first things we needed to correct with her. And she's not only been able to correct it, but also she, of recent, like she was traveling, there was a lot of this stuff going on, and she kind of fell off her program and she slept on a different mattress with a different pillow. It wasn't so great, and she got some of her old neck tension back, and she was able to troubleshoot it herself and get within just a couple of days her feeling completely back to normal again. And now it's been several weeks since then, and she's still feeling like $1,000,000 like she was before. So it was really cool to see, and we love seeing that with our clients, of not only being able to tackle that chronic neck pain or tension or really anything in the body, whether that's knee injuries, back injuries, whatever. But obviously neck, for the topic of this video, is a prevalent thing. And not only being able to tackle that, but also be able to maintain it. And if something gets tweaked, having the confidence to be able to fix it themselves. So that's what we teach, and I want to cover that topic on today's video. I'm going to go over a couple of techniques that we can do in the moment to get our neck tension out of it, but then most importantly, how we actually correct this thing. Now, before I go any further, if you guys are interested in getting free coaching from myself and my team on how you can actually correct it. Because as you're going to see, it's not just about solving the neck. It's about finding the imbalances that are down below that the neck sits on top of. And if you want help in understanding that, that's why my team and I offer free coaching. You get 2 free calls with us, and one of them's over video. And we actually take a look at how your body's moving and stabilizing, what your postural positions are, your daily movements are, your ranges of motion are. And we create a game plan with you all for free on what types of mobility techniques, what exercise you need to do to get this body moving back to full range of stable motion, just like our clients are able to. So if you're interested in that, we're going to have a link to our calendar below this video. Check it out, and we can't wait to see you and help you a little bit more specifically. But now, let's get into what to do when we first have that neck tension. So the first thing that we got to solve is move the body. We got to get the body moving to its comfortable positions. One of the biggest things that we do when we start getting neck tension is we just guard. Often we'll start bringing the shoulders up toward the ears a little bit. The neck might start coming forward a little bit. We start rolling the shoulders in, and we stop moving. We move the whole body, and often it's because it's stiff. We can't have our normal range of motion. But the lack of movement is one of the worst things we can do. We need to move the body to create nutrients, blood flow to the area. It's also what's going to help nerves flow a little bit more freely. Now, if you're having a nerve impingement, you also want to do some nerve glides on this. I'm going to go through some releases and stretches we can do, but there's also a number of different nerve glides that we can do depending on what area of the body is impinged there. And again, that's kind of to each person. So if you're interested in that one-on-one help to understand more for your specific body, just click that link and we'll do some one-on-one coaching with you. But anyway, for the releases around this area, so many of us always go for the upper traps. We go for the shoulders. We ask our spouse to, hey, honey, Do you love me? You give me a shoulder massage. Literally, my wife Danielle did that the other night. Like, you love me? Yes. Will you give me a shoulder massage? Yeah, sure. So we go for that. Yes, that feels good in the moment, but it doesn't solve our problems. And often the upper trap stiffness, tightness is a byproduct of the position our head's in. If we have our head here, that puts strain into this area of the body. So it starts tensing up. So yes, it feels good when we massage it out, and we can get a spouse to do it or a friend to do it or whatever. We can also take like a trigger point ball, place it on the back of our shoulder, kind of on the meat of the upper trap, right above the shoulder blade, and just lean back into a wall, and we can find our hot spots and we can massage into it. We can move the shoulder around on it and give our own self massage to the area. Take our hand and do the same thing. All that's going to feel good, but it's not going to solve the tension in the neck, so to speak, or even solve the tension in the shoulder. It's just going to kind of make it feel better for a little bit. So it's great. It'll help you feel better, but let's actually take a look at what we can do in the neck. First and foremost is starting around this collarbone. Right underneath the collarbone, working along that rogue trigger point ball, working around underneath the collarbone here, along the pec major and into the pec minor, which is a little bit goofier to get to, but along this collarbone into the chest and front of shoulder is really important to release. So if you start working with your own fingers and you're digging across this and you feel any hurt so good tension point, you got to massage into it. You got to breathe into it. You want to move your arm, get some blood flow to the area, and you want to knead into that area. Just get it nice and pliable for anywhere from 30 seconds to several minutes, depending on how long it takes for it to relax a little bit. That's because when our shoulders are this way, it's going to move our head this way. And often this neck tension is coming from postural positions where we're in the front of the computer and we bring the head forward and the shoulders forward as we're typing. Or if we have our phone and we're holding it in front, we bring the shoulders forward and the head goes forward. Sometimes when we're driving, we'll have the seat back a little bit, or our shoulders are forward to get to the steering wheel and our head is forward and in that position. Well, every inch our head is forward increases 10 pounds of pressure, shearing force pressure on the neck itself. So the head is about 10 pounds. In an ideal world, in a good postural position, that means our head is stacked over our shoulders, and there's about 10 pounds of pressure on the cervical spine that it's designed to hold. But if I go an inch forward, that's now 20 pounds of pressure. Another inch forward, that's now 30 pounds of pressure. We are growing more and more pressure force on each cervical area, cervical vertebrae, and it doesn't like it. And then on top of it, we are kinking the head this way, creating all this tension into the base of the skull, which can lead to stress headaches. So we want to be mindful of opening up first the chest so that we can more naturally pull the shoulders open. The next thing that we're going to do is right above the collarbone itself. We can do this with our offhand, get our thumb just in kind of that like little corner above the collarbone here, and you're going to potentially feel some hurt so good love that needs to be given to that area. If you don't feel anything, work to the other side. It does not matter, by the way, what side your neck tension or soreness or pain is on. If I'm feeling it over here, but I dig in there and I don't feel that there's nothing hurt so good to work through, but I get onto the other side and like, oh man, that's gnarly. Well, there's a very good chance that the tension here is linked to what you're feeling on that other side of the neck. So doesn't matter, wherever you feel the hurt so good tension, same thing with the chest, work it and just commit to working it until it releases and relaxes. Massage into it. Then we're going to work up this SCM. The SCM is this big muscle that runs along the sides of the neck, and then it connects down up and to the back of the ears, the base of the skull. So we can work anywhere along this side. Now, don't push directly on the center of your throat, but off to the side corner, trying to knead into this tissue. Anywhere that you hurt so good for, massage into that. Move the neck around as best you can to whatever's tolerable. Tilt it around, get some blood flow, and knead into that. Work up into the base of the neck itself. Then let's work along the back of the neck. So with our own hands, we can be dragging the head along from the base of the skull, get nice and deep into that area. And sometimes this is great sitting the way I'm doing it right now, but it's even better if you can lay down on your back and just relax your head neutral on the ground type thing. So that can, anywhere that we find that hurt so good tension, massage into it, look around, tilt the head around, get some blood flow to the area. Okay, so now we've kind of massaged out the tension points that are restricting its ranges of motion. All right, that's going to feel good. Now, this is the time where if we got a nerve impingement, we want to do some nerve glides to it, and like we can free that guy up and open it up a little bit. Also, we can do some gentle stretches. We all know the like sitting down, you can grab a hold of your seat, kind of keep yourself in neutral and just tilt away, and you'll get like a nice stretch along that side of the neck and the top of the shoulders. You can do that same thing and look down a little bit, and then you'll get more of the backside of the neck as you're kind of looking down at your opposite pocket. You can tilt it up just a little bit and jut the chin out a little bit, and you'll get it more toward the front of the neck here. So you can do that a little bit. I kind of prefer doing it a little bit more dynamic so that you're creating more movement, more blood flow to the area as opposed to just holding it, but it's to whatever feels good. Experiment with this a little bit. Only going to comfort. If it's starting to cause it to tighten up a little bit, ease out off of it. Always be gentle around this. When I'm saying movement, also, you can just be sitting and just look to whatever distance you can to one side, whatever distance you can to the other side, and whatever feels comfortable, and just move in and out of it. Tilt one ear to one shoulder back and forth, even if it's only a little bit, just whatever feels comfortable. That movement goes a long way. But first, we're going to manipulate out that tension with our own hands, our own fingers. Okay. Then we've got some good stretches, and now we've probably already gotten some good relief to this area. It's going to feel a little bit better. But at this point, we've chased symptoms, right? We've helped the area feel better, but did we solve our problem? Are we now going to sit better? Are we now going to walk better? Are we now going to have the stability underneath the neck that was the root cause of the pain in the first place get fixed? 9 times out of 10, no, that's not the case. Now, if you just had a kink in your neck from sleeping funky, then this will help. Like doing this consistently over a day or two will help your neck feel better, and that often is going to solve your problem because it was just a funky night of sleep. But if this is something that's more recurring, like what Angie was dealing with, years upon years of neck tension that was driving her nuts, well, that's something that we need to take a look at. What's going on below? What's happening below the neck of what it's sitting on top of that's causing this thing to always be out of position and to cause this thing to have so much tension around it? Well, we talked about those shoulders. That was one cause. When they roll forward, our head is going to want to naturally go forward. The screen time, if we're not mindful of sitting in a proper position, that's going to be a really big factor. So when we're here, that's causing a lot of tension. But also, when we're up and about and moving, there's this thing that the shoulder girdle sits on top of. It's the thoracic spine. And that sits on top of the core. And that sits on top of the glutes. And many of us that are dealing with neck pain, neck tension, nerve impingements, that kind of thing, also have something going on, whether it's an imbalance from right to left, or maybe it's literally like a hip position or whatever, that is making the glutes not fire very well, which makes the core not fire very well. And the whole thoracic spine and rib cage sit on top of that gluten core complex. And in an ideal world, the way the body wants to be structured is it wants to be nice and mobile at the hips. It wants to be really stable around the lower back. We want this core to activate and stabilize as well. And then we want to be nice and mobile throughout our thoracic spine and shoulder girdle. We want to have a lot of good range of motion while this area is staying stable. But when the opposite happens, when our hips get locked up, and then let's say from sitting or from running too much or hiking too much, doing a repetitive movement too much, it starts tightening up around here. And then the core is not firing very well. And so this starts getting unstable. It's not stabilizing very well because the glutes and core aren't firing the way they should. Well, now all of a sudden this thoracic spine that sits on top of what should be stable, but unstable, instead it's too mobile. The thoracic spine, which we want to be mobile and moving, says, I don't trust this unstable base of support that's underneath me. And so I'm going to lock it down. I'm going to tighten up the ribs. I'm going to protract the shoulders. I'm going to pin everything down. I'm going to tighten this up just because I don't trust this whole complex down underneath. So the root cause of most people's chronic neck tension, neck injuries, nerve impingements, that kind of stuff, stems actually from what's happening down below. The glute and core complex that is the foundation of what our thoracic spine is dealing with. And sometimes that gluten core complex is actually being impacted from what's happening down at the feet and the ankles. For Angie, this was a big deal for her because she was a runner, because of all of the pounding her feet and ankles and tension that she was having that was preventing her from certain ranges of motion. It was causing her hips to compensate in a certain way, which was causing her neck to compensate in a certain way. So how we solved it was we solved her feet, then we solved her hips, and that solved her core and her glutes. And all of a sudden now, if she has an issue with her neck, all she needs to do, like sleeping funky at a hotel, all she needs to do is literally this kind of manipulation for a couple of days, and she's feeling back to normal and completely healthy. So guys, again, if you're interested in getting some free coaching, click the link below. We can't wait to talk to you. Me personally, I'll see you over video, and we'll be going through some assessments and seeing exactly what's going on with this body and what you need to do to get it back to full range of stable motion so that you can pursue whatever health and or fitness goals you have, whether that's running a marathon or whether that's just being able to exercise, whether it's playing a sport or gardening or just being able to keep up with the kids. So can't wait to see you. And outside of that, have a great rest of your day.